Hey, good morning and welcome to Hobby Evolution episode number 137. It's a Tuesday. We are 10 days away from Christmas, December 15th. I just received my shipping notification. My Bowman Draft hobby box will be shipped or has been shipped. So maybe it's Tuesday. Maybe it'll arrive this weekend, but probably next weekend. So that'll be fun to open up as we approach the holidays. So gonna have some fun with that. I do have some other packages that are delayed in transit. I won several auctions for a bunch of Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazines for my collection, like 70 total. And they are stuck in North Carolina where they've have not moved per tracking in 5 days. So waiting on those, no big rush. My top loaders, which is kind of a rush, are delayed. They were shipped UPS. They arrived here at my local hub yesterday afternoon, but were not put on a delivery truck for today. So it looks like they'll be pushed out for tomorrow delivery. Was hoping for those. So that's my shipping updates. Title today, thanks to Herman and Brad. They had me on their weekly show. They do a really fun show every Monday night, and I'd heard about it, but I hadn't tuned in until last week. And it's a super fun show. They basically just get on with each other. Sometimes they have guests on, and they just kind of goof off, talk about the hobby, open up some packs, and have fun. And it's a really loose, fun show. Chat room is pretty active. Starts at 7 p.m. Central every Monday night. Herman from Twitter at 3B Collection, and Brad is at Texas Card Dude at TX Card Dude. So really fun with them. Last night we talked about, the reason I went on the show was, so last week, Brad's camera made him appear blue, and somebody made a comment about the Blue Man Group. So the show last night opened up with the Blue Man Group, a video that Herman played. So I said, I have a Blue Man Group story, but it's too long to type. So they had me on. My internet was terrible. I have poor internet down here in the basement. My wife and I were going to make the switch from, we have Charter Spectrum, cable and internet. So we are going to pull the trigger. We're switching to YouTube TV. And I think we're going to make the switch from Charter internet to TDS. I'm going kicking and screaming. We had a absolute nightmare time with TDS a couple years ago, to the point where I wanted to boycott them for life. But this Charter internet is really bad, especially now because everybody's on, everybody's streaming and Zooming. So it gets bogged down, especially at night, when everybody's doing their, family Zoom calls and all that. So last night my internet was really bogged down. So I guess it's a good thing I record these shows in the morning, although I still do have some hiccups on this stream in the morning. So anyway, so I hopped on to share my Blue Man Group story. So I'll have to share that now. So my wife and I went to see the Blue Man Group 3 or 4 years ago in Chicago. We had great seats. We were in the second row. We didn't want to be in the first row because you have to wear the Actually, I think we had to wear the jackets in the second row because they have like splashing, I can't remember what was, but some of the people in the front row got, pretty wet from whatever. So we were on the second row, and I'm sitting on the aisle. I get kind of claustrophobic in spaces with people. So I'm always, if I'm picking seats for a baseball game, I've got to have the aisle seat. It's just kind of that fight or flight mode that I have. Little anxiety in crowds. So I'm sitting on the aisle, second row. And I am aware that Blue Man Group is very They really get the crowd into their act with a few skits. So I was part of one of the skits. I have not only do I have anxiety in crowds, but I hate the dentist. Not personally. Actually, my dentist is a great guy. He's a Cubs fan. He's from Elgin. Awesome dude. Shout out to Dr. Clark. But I hate being confined to a chair, my head being held back, all these tools in my mouth, and it like gives me high anxiety, elevated blood pressure. It's like my biggest fear is being confined to that chair and having people put tools in my mouth. So I'm at the Blue Man Group. And guess what? I get involved into a skit. And guess what that skit is? They hold me back in the chair and stick a camera in my mouth. And so the camera is on the big screen they have on stage of the inside of my mouth and looking into my throat. I was like this close to having a panic attack. It was horrendous, but it was over quickly. It seemed like hours, but it was over in a minute. So that was my Blue Man Group story. My biggest fear, being confined to a chair at the dentist. And here, of all the skits that the Blue Man Group could do, not only do they choose me, but they choose my biggest fear, which there was a card that you had to fill out, I think, before the show. And I didn't even have any, maybe maybe I don't know. Maybe they were stalking me on the internet and saw me tweet about hating the dentist. I don't know, but it was horrible. So that was my Blue Man Group story. So they had me on the show last night. I talked about managed payments, gave my thoughts on managed payments, and I'm going to talk more about managed payments. I know I've kind of talked it into oblivion at this point, but I've had a few people reach out to me with questions on Twitter. I'm not seeing my money, and I'm trying to help them through it. I'm not obviously privy to account statuses, so it can all depend. So I have to ask some questions, essentially the answer the last couple times has been, you're going to have to call eBay. eBay customer service is slow. Check with your bank. That's about, the kind of the last ditch resort is going to have to be on hold for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours with customer service on eBay. So I just kind of want to share, because I'm very passionate of my love for managed payments, but it's going to be different for everybody because numbers always lie. Just because my numbers are X doesn't mean yours will be X. They're going to be Y, and somebody else watching, their numbers are going to be Z. So there's not going to be not everybody's going to save X amount every month on the switch from PayPal to managed payments. So I just kind of want to give my thoughts and kind of explain it to where everybody's going to see different things with managed payments. And maybe you won't like it, maybe you will like it, maybe you'll love it, maybe you'll hate it, but it is what it is, and it's here to stay. So we're gonna have to live with it, or if you can't handle it, find another platform, because it's not going to go away. So I'll share more details on that in a upcoming episode. Did not receive any mail yesterday, and doesn't look like I'll be receiving anything today. I did go to the post office yesterday, and it was a freaking madhouse. That anxiety kicked in. I mean, there were 40, and this is a small post office, and there were 40 is an exaggeration, but I bet there were 30 people between the lobby and the outside area. So there were so many people piled up in the outside of the lobby that I didn't even want to mess with getting into my PO box. There were two women side by side in the doorway, and I said, "Excuse me," and the one lady goes, "Well, this is the line for drop off," and I'm like, "Drop off is drop off," and I'm like, just put it on the counter. She's like, oh no, there's a lady there. Yeah, this woman is standing right next to this woman. She's afraid to walk. I was like, my last nerve was struck. So I'm standing there, and it's like my impatience is really wearing thin. Finally, after about a minute, the lady like started to make a move inside the lobby. I found a hole. I found an opening. Boom. Dropped my box, just one box, dropped it off on the counter. And as I was like walking away, the lady asks the clerk, can I just drop prepaid off here on the counter? And so I have impatience. I wish my post office had just a drop, like a big old drop box, especially now that I don't have to walk in and drop it off. I just have a small mailbox outside my house, so I fill it up with my PWEs, and then everything else, I'll take to the post office. But I have to walk through all these people. Just crazy line. So I don't think I have anything to send out today that requires me to go to the post office. So I think I will avoid it again. So I don't know if there's any mail awaiting me. But I think I'm just going to lay low from the post office the next couple of days. It's the 15th. So I would hope people are, this is the last couple of days of people trying to ship out Christmas gifts. So I would imagine people will still be piling into the post office the rest of this week, though. 15th, 16th, 17th. Yeah. So I would imagine by Friday, things will slow down with that holiday traffic. So I feel better now. I got that off my chest, my annoyance with my trip to the post office. So that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. Twitter is at 1,000,000Cubs. Website 1,000,000cubs.com. eBay store link 99centcards.com. That's 99centcards.com. And you can also find that eBay store link top of the page at 1,000,000cubs.com. Zach, thanks. You also have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.